First things first, how are the things looking ahead of the weekend? What's the injury situation at the club?
Well, we're waiting on a couple of see how they are. We've got a couple of injuries. Probably Nathan Tyson's being the worst, so it's too soon for him for Saturday's game. So we'll have to see how he comes through. Next few days. But yeah, obviously picked up an injury up at Stockport. Everybody else, obviously Yanni's suspended, so it's his last game on Saturday, and then everybody else, we should be okay.
Has it been beneficial having a weekend off? I imagine you didn't want to have it off, but has it helped some players in just getting some extra rest and recovery?
Not really. We either way we would have had a game, so we were all right with it. We planned for the game, but we wouldn't have had the injury, we wouldn't have had the game obviously midweek. So that was a difficult one. Obviously after that game, we're glad we didn't have a game then, because that game at Stockport took a little bit out of us.
I mean, the last time we spoke, which was a few weeks ago for myself, you talked about having sort of little preparation time pre-season for the season behind other teams in the league. Do you feel now that the squad has caught up a little bit and you're now on a bit more of an even footing with others? Yeah,
I think we're fine. I think it was all about the games. I think that we can do as much training as you like pre-season, but it's the games that count. It's getting that game fitness, and we never had a lot of games pre-season for one reason or another. But we're now, the games are coming thick and fast, and I think if you take the Stockport game out of the equation and look at the FA Cup tie up at Stockport, and then obviously going down to Yeovil, we certainly looked all right. We certainly give both teams a game. We look fit. We look strong, and you're getting you're breeding more and more confidence with those two wins. So yeah, I don't think we're in a bad place. We're as a group. We're getting. We will get better. We're working all the time to improve, like everybody is. So yeah, we're just, the games are fine when we know, the game we had the other day, we just wasn't ready for it, so we didn't really, it was chucked on us really quite short notice. So when you're planning for it and we're working weeks in advance and looking what we've got, then we can tailor everything out and taper training accordingly. So having the games is no problem as long as we know we've got them.
I mean, with the league games so far, are you pleased that you've been in every game? Obviously, you've won a couple, but all four that you have lost, you've only lost by the odd goal.
Yeah, but we still lost. So, listen, getting, I don't know which is worse, getting beat and not playing well, or getting beat when you're playing well, or you're doing well. It's a difficult one, but either way, no one wants to get beat. But I think if we can look at it performance-wise and look at what we need to do and what this league is and what we're about, we have given every team, every team we've played has been up there, and we've given every team, a good game. If you look at, the result we had at Wealdstone, if you look where they are now, it's there's no easy games at this level, not one. I've not stood on the sidelines at any game while I've been here and felt comfortable. Every game's a tough game because it's just the way this league is. It's full of teams never say die attitudes, and if you see what the games are about, the games are about being fit, being able to get around the pitch, being powerful, and then some teams have got good squads. Some teams are recruited well and have good players and have quite a few of them, and that's what it is. And then you've got to try and do well against those teams. But every game that certainly we've been involved in has been really competitive and a difficult game.
I mean, this week seen that last season's top scorer Mike Fondop signed for your rival's Aldershot. Was there ever a realistic chance that he might have returned to Chesterfield?
Well, no. I mean, I've said this before. Mike wanted you know, obviously he'd been here before. I spoke to Mike in the summer. Mike wanted to keep his options open, and that's where we left it. So, you know, I never heard back from him. So, you know, he's now signed for Aldershot. You know, but you know, he's never an issue. There was never the conversation about bringing Mikey back because you know Mike never wanted that conversation.
In terms of strikers that are at the club, 6 in 6 for Tom Denton, fantastic start to the season for him. When a striker is in form like that, how important is it that you sort of make the most of that and that you play to his strengths?
Well, you know, there's no point having any player in your team if you don't try and look at what the strengths are and try to, you know, bring that to the table. You know, Dents is, you know, we all know what Dents is about. We all know what Dents is capable of doing. We also know what he can't do or what you know what's not his strength. So we have to offset some things with Dents. You know, but what we do is, you know, a lot of the time when I've seen Dents play over the years. You know, he's winning headers and he's winning his battles, and you know he's always got 2 or 3 men round him, and he's winning his battles, you know, 40, 50 yards from goal. What we're doing is he's trying to get him winning his battles in and around the box, which it becomes more dangerous. And I think the thing with Dents is, you know, he's got better feet for a big guy than people think, and his technique is, you know, he's a good finisher. You know, he's not a penalty taker. You know, for no reason other than that, he's actually quite good at it. You know, he strikes a nice ball. So there's more to Dent's game than just being a battering ram. But he ends up a battering ram because people show him the respect that he deserves and put 2 or 3 men round him. You know, like I said, we played Stockport in the FA Cup, and it's the first time I've seen a team mark him from their own corners. So that's the respect that people have for him, and they know, you know, if you leave Dents and you're not on you're not fully concentrated and in around the box, he will punish you. And but that's most people at this level.
Maidenhead this weekend then, one of the form teams really in the National League at the moment. Difficult start to the season, lost a couple, and of course stayed up last year by the skin of the teeth on points per games. What are you expecting from them this weekend?
Well, a team that's on a crest of a wave at the moment, that's, you know, full of confidence. They work really hard. They're on the back of a really good you know, run of form. Yes, they don't have the best start, but I think that again it shows what this league is. You know, you need something that can kickstart you, and you can get on a run. You know, they are. You know, I've watched them, you know, 4 times over the last week or so on the games. You know, they've been they're well organised. You know, they've got Barrett who's scoring goals. So you know, Blissit's obviously got experience at this level, and he's a handful if we're not at it. So yeah, you know, they're and they're honest. You know, they're a good honest team who work hard, and I think that's what you've got to be. Before anything, you've got to do the basics right at every level, and certainly at this level, and they do that very well.
Vastly experienced boss, of course, in charge in Alan Devonshire. Is he somebody that you've come across in the game much over the years?
Well, I played against, obviously, you know, when he was at West Ham, and funny enough, I played in his testimonial when he had his at Upton Park when I was at Crystal Palace. I don't think he'll be here at weekend because I think he's having an hip operation. So I think he's having that done today. So I'm not sure he'll be around. But yeah, you know, he certainly was a good player in his day.
And I suppose it can only be good for players when you do have somebody like that has got some great experience of playing right at the very top end of the game, playing for England, and also in the time that he spent managing in non-league as well.
Yes, well, I think if you're a fool not to draw, if someone's got experience, you don't draw on that experience. Whether you're a coach working with him or you're a player working for him, it's knowledge is it's priceless at every level. You know, when you're trying to kick on. Certainly, he's played with good players and he's played at a good level, and certainly can give that experience to his team, and he's obviously been doing that. You know, they've been doing something right with the run of, I think it's 4 wins in 4 games. So, you know, he's certainly doing something right.
And we've we've talked about Tom Denton having 6 in 6. Well, they've got Sam Barrett, who's got 7 in 7. So clearly they pose a threat, and you will have to be wary about that.
Yes, we know. We say we do our own work. We know what their strengths are. We hopefully, can see some weaknesses there that we can hopefully exploit. But obviously, one of the strengths is him. He's scoring regular, and he also has a extremely long throw. So, that is also a threat. Going to be a threat to us. So we know what they're capable of doing, and we certainly know what he's capable of doing. But what we've got to do is the players that decide who's going to play on Saturday have to take responsibility and do the jobs. And if they do the jobs properly, we'll be, like I've said all along, we'll be a handful for anybody. We are a handful for anyone when we play well. But it's being consistent and performing when we need to perform. And obviously Saturday is as another, like the All Eye at the moment, big game for us, and one that we want to be looking to win.
Just finally from me, John, it's been another big week for football in the national headlines, mostly for a lot of the wrong reasons, with Greg Clark at the FA. Still lots of discussions going on about financial packages for the pyramid, talk of up to 10 clubs, getting close to their financial limits, and that's in the Football League. You've obviously been in the game for a long time now, right at the coalface of it. From your perspective, is football missing a really golden opportunity at the moment to have a look at itself and have a reset, or is that a bit of a pipe dream with the big clubs still holding all the power?
Well, I think that it comes down to the Premier League do have the power. The Premier League is what everybody wants to see. The Premier League is what everybody wants to pay for to watch. So, excuse me, it does hold the power. But the Premier League, have to also not lose the track of quite a lot of the players, that end up there and playing in there have come through, all the other clubs at every level, non-league level. Look at, you can go back to, Luke Vardy, all the way through Harry Maguire, all the way through to the Premiership and international level. There's players that need every club at some point in their careers, so they don't need to lose track of that, because it is a game, and it's a game, and it's a game for everyone. And whether you're a Man United supporter or a Chesterfield supporter, that football club is the most important thing to a lot of people, and people don't need to lose the track of that. It's whether you're a big club earning billions of pounds a year, or you're a club that's trying to make ends meet. There's good people at every club, and there's people trying to fight to do the best for it, and everywhere is no different. So yeah, they are looking at it. I think it is a good time to reassess, and hopefully good decisions will be made at the top level which will help everybody, certainly at this current time, because it's a really difficult period.
Thanks, John. Really appreciate your time as ever.
Thank you. Cheers, Anne.
John, just on Nathan Tyson, on his injury, what exactly is his problem? It was a little bit unclear on the...
Yeah, he's got a hamstring problem. So obviously we had it scanned, and the scan come back. He's got a slight tear in it, but it's the grading of how long it'll be. We actually thought it was more serious, but he's actually seems all right. We just see how he heals, but it's certainly one that I think it'd probably be maybe a couple of weeks, at least. I think so. It's one of those we just have to take day by day in with him, because it's there's not a lot we could do about it. It's one of those. It's happened, and we have to move on.
And that must be quite frustrating, because he's sort of yet to sort of really get going this season. He's sort of in and out, isn't he, at the minute? And
yeah.
Is that how you feel about it?
Yeah, just he's he came in pre-season. He worked hard pre-season, and then it was unfortunate. We had it's like, I think a lot of people are getting injuries. We had a lockdown and no one did anything for 6 months, and I think a lot of people are finding those, getting. Certainly, we speak to a lot of clubs, and a lot of clubs and the medical departments are getting quite a few as soft tissue injuries, more than usual. So when we talk about it, and it's one of those things, they say, well, players have not done anything for 6 months, and then they're going into a programme where they're playing Saturday, Tuesday, and it's difficult. And then we're getting now where the pitches were hard in the summer, and now they're getting softer. That's changing, and certainly our training ground gets really soft at times, and it all bodes to what we're looking, what we're getting, and it's not ideal, but we have to deal with it.
And on Jordan Cropper, where's he with his recovery?
Yeah, Jordan's okay. Jordan's been training, so he's okay.
Is he in contention for the weekend?
Well, I would have thought so. Yeah, he's certainly been training, so yeah, we'll see how that goes.
And just one thing, there's Liam Mandeville as well. He wasn't in the squad against Stockport. Was that an injury or?
Well, Liam's been actually funny. Liam's been self-isolating, so that's why he's not been involved. He's not had COVID, but he's come into contact with someone, his family. So, just out of safety to everybody, we obviously have to self-isolate him. So, he's funny enough, he'll be in tomorrow. Funny enough, so.
And just on the coronavirus, obviously you played Stockport last time out, and their players are having to self-isolate because they came into contact with Weymouth's players. Are you having to put extra precautions in place?
Yeah, we have. We've had to spend quite a bit of money on new testing. We can do like testings now, so we can. We did testings this morning. On a regular basis, just to try and keep up with it, because like I say, it's obviously when it's sometimes not what here we can do everything we can here, but when they go home, or the players like Liam comes in contact with someone, a family member, then we just want to make sure that it's not spread around. So it's actually it's so difficult at the moment to deal with, because you just every day you think you've got it nailed down, and it's something else. So what we've done, the club have spent money on a lot of new testing kits that we've got, and we're trying to test on a regular basis when we feel we need to.
And there just seems to be more and more games week by week now being called off because of
Yeah.
COVID. Do you think it's inevitable that Chesterfield at some point are going to have a couple of games called off?
We'd be stupid to think not, wouldn't we? I think like I was saying, we try to do everything we can. We keep the players as isolated as possible from everything. We still have little bubbles that we stick to when we come to the training. There's certain players who like players who come in together were the ones who will shower, when together, and we're trying to keep it. They go in the gym, we do the gym work. We keep that in twos and threes. But it's when they go and you come into contact with something, and I just think it'll be a matter of time. Everybody will go through it, and we'd be stupid to think it's not going to happen here.
And just on Saturday then, you're going to be facing the National League's top goal scorer, as we mentioned it, in Sam Barrett. Will you be putting any special plans in place to stop him, or is it just looking at the bigger picture as a whole? No,
we just look at what they are. Obviously, we're not going to be blasé about him. He's obvious. He's a leading goal scorer for a reason. So he's dangerous. He's on a good run of form. But the club, the team are on a good run of form at the moment. So everybody's. He's obviously he's getting chances, and he's taking them. So we know we've done the work on it. We know what he is, and we know what he's capable of doing. But what we've got to do is make sure we try to deal with him, but deal with the threat. And we can deal with the threat of the team, then we will take away some of his chances.
And just finally, in the last week or so, have you had a chance to sit down with the new chief scout, Paul Lemons, to discuss sort of the direction that you want to go in terms of recruitment? Have you managed to have that conversation?
Well, we've had conversation. I spoke to him last week briefly when he came in, but he was in another meeting, and I spoke to him. So obviously I had phone calls about it. So yeah, I will be sitting down with him. In fact, I was going to sit down with him today, but something else came up. So Yeah, we'll be sitting down and having a chat.
Are you close to bringing anyone else in, or is it just?
We're always looking, Liam. We're always looking. Obviously, the big one now is to see just how long Nathan's possibly going to be. That might be something where, if he's going to be out for a while, we might look that direction to see about bringing some cover in, certainly while he's out. So it's something that we're always looking to bring players in, and I want to chuck players at the owner all the time, and the chairman, and hopefully then we can yay or nay. But you're not doing your job properly if you're not looking at players and seeing how if we can better what we've got. So I think that's important, and certainly if like I say, if Tice is going to be a longer term, then that might be something that we look into very soon.